Switch on your videos. Good afternoon, students.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Okay. So from today onwards, we are going to revise the next portion of the first chapter, that is refraction of light. The revision part of the first part is over. Reflection of light. We were discussed about the mirror formula, magnification formula, and what about the rules, and some MCQ questions regarding with that of the reflection of light. So from today onwards, we are going to start the revision of the next portion, that is refraction of light. The next topic of the same chapter, refraction. So what all things we were discussed under this topic, refraction of light?
Refractive index.
Yes, refractive index. Yes. Then
Atmospheric refraction.
Atmospheric refraction is comes under this topic, refraction of light. Ashik, is it from the first chapter?
No, ma'am.
It is from the second chapter. Okay. Then what all things we were discussed
What is
here?
refraction?
Yes, what is refraction? Two laws of refraction. And what do you mean by refractive index? What is the equation for refractive index? That things we were discussed in this chapter. So I will give you a whole picture of this topic. Refraction. So under this topic, refraction, we were discussed the laws of refraction. How many laws of refraction are there? How many laws of refraction?
Two laws of refraction.
We have two laws of refraction are there, two laws. So can anyone state the first law of refraction? Quickly recall the points, then only we can practice the numericals. Quickly recall the first law of refraction. And Mary, are you ready? What is the first law of refraction?
Yes,
First law of refraction.
The incident ray, reflected ray, and the normal ray at the point of incident lie on the same plane.
Is it is reflection or refraction?
Refraction.
Okay, refraction. The incident ray, refracted ray, and normal at the point of interface. At the point of interface, all lies in the same plane. Okay, so here, whenever you are writing the law of refraction, you must take care that it is refraction. So if you are writing the instead of refraction, if you take the word reflection, then it becomes law of reflection. So you must take care whenever you state the law of refraction. Incident ray, normal, and refracted ray at the point of interface. At the point of interface means the separation between the two media. Here we are consider the two mediums. One is a rarer medium and other is a denser medium. So at the point of interface, all lies in the same plane. This is what is known as law of refraction. Then what about the second law of refraction?
Ma'am.
Yeah, excellent. Sin I by sin R is equal to a constant. That constant be taken as n. The ratio of sine of angle of incidence to that of sine of angle of refraction is a constant. It is known as n. Okay. And the second law of refraction is also known by one more name. What's that?
Snell's law.
Snell's law. This is the very famous Snell's law. Okay, good. So that's all about the two laws of refraction. Then we were discussed about the refraction by a glass slab, and some terms are there associated with that of the refraction through glass slab. Okay, so what about the glass slab? Is it a denser medium or a rarer medium? Glass slab.
Denser medium.
Glass slab is a denser medium. So when a ray of light is incident on a glass slab, what happens to it? The ray of light is incident on a glass slab. The ray of light is comes from a air, that is from a rarer medium. It is incident on a glass slab. After the refraction, what happens to this ray of light? Is it is bent towards the normal or bent away from the normal?
Bend away from the normal.
The ray of light is incident from a rarer medium to a denser medium. After the refraction, what happens to this ray of light, this incident ray? Think and answer.
Bend towards the normal.
If it is not bent away from the normal, then the next option it is bent towards the normal. Okay. So correct answer it is bent towards the normal. Okay. So if the ray of light is entering from a rarer medium to a denser medium, after the refraction, it bend towards the normal. It bend towards the normal. Again, if this ray of light is emerges from this glass slab to air, then what happens to this ray of light after the refraction? It is bent away from the normal. Okay, because here the ray of light is emerging from a denser medium to a rarer medium. If a ray of light is passing from a denser medium to a rarer medium, then after the refraction, the ray of light is bent away from the normal. This is the normal. After the refraction, it is bent away from the normal. Okay, but if it is entering from a rarer medium to a denser medium, after the refraction, it is bent towards the normal. Just like close friends, they are bent towards the normal. But at the same time, if the ray of light is entering from a denser to rarer medium, they are just like enemies. The ray of light after the refraction, it is bent away from the normal. So all these points must be kept in your mind while discussing the refraction by a glass slab. Then rules of refraction. Just similar to that of rules of reflection, here also we have 3 rules are there in order to draw the ray diagrams. Then what do you mean by refractive index? What do you mean by refractive index? Quickly recollect the definition and equation for refractive index. Refractive index. Refractive index is represented by the letter N, small letter N. And what is the equation? The general equation for
N is equal
calculating.
to C by V.
Yes, N is equal to C by V. Actually, this V is not V, it is mu. It's a Greek letter. Okay. And what is the C indicate C? C. It's a constant. What is C? C is the very
Speed
good.
of light.
Velocity or speed of light in air. Velocity or speed of, I think it is in your textbook, it is given by speed or velocity.
Speed of light.
Okay,
in
speed. So C is nothing, it is the speed of light in air. Speed of light in air by speed of light in medium.
Medium.
Okay, speed of light in air divided by speed of light in medium. And the speed of light in air is a constant. Do you know its constant value? Speed of light in air. Yeah, and Mary, it's right. Unmute and say.
3 into 10 raised to 8.
3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. You just by heart this value. The velocity or the speed of light is a constant and its value is equal to 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. Okay. And the medium can be anything. It can be kerosene, glycerin, oil, any medium. So we can find out the refractive index using the equation C by nu, where C is the speed of light in air, nu is the speed of light in medium. We have 2 more equations are there in order to calculate the refractive index. Instead of air, if we have any other 2 mediums are there. Okay, if we have one medium is air, we can use this equation N is equal to C by nu. If one medium is air, then only we can use this equation N is equal to C by nu. Suppose students, you just imagine if one material is glycerin, one is glycerin and other is alcohol. Then what about the refractive index? Or one medium is glass, one is glass and other medium is oil, glass and oil. Then how we can calculate the refractive index? We have 2 different mediums are there instead of air. Here we have 2 different mediums are there. One is glass and other is oil. So I want to calculate the refractive index of glass with respect to oil. Then what is the equation?
Speed of light in oil by speed of light in glass.
Okay. So for that we can form an equation. The refractive index of glass with respect to oil. So that is NOG. Refractive index of glass with respect to oil, it is NOG. It is given by speed of light in glass divided by speed of light in oil. Just reverse. NOG is equal to speed of light in glass divided by speed. Okay, we can discuss the numericals, then it will be more clear. In your textbook, instead of this glass and oil, we are taken as N12. N12. Refractive index of medium 2 divided by refractive index of medium 1. Similarly, N21. Speed of light in medium 1 divided by speed of light in medium 2. So here we have three equations are there in order to calculate the refractive index. If one medium is air, we can use the general equation N is equal to C by nu. Suppose if the two mediums are different, instead of air, we have two different mediums, then we must use the equation N12 or N21 depending upon the condition they are provided. Okay. Then we will discuss about the refraction by spherical lenses. We have two types of spherical lenses are there. What are they? One is concave lens and other is convex lens. Concave lens and convex lens. Okay. Concave lens is also known as diverging lens. They are diverging lens. Okay. Concave lenses are called a diverging lens. But concave mirrors are called a converging mirrors. But in the case of lens, concave lens are diverging lens. What about convex lens? They are converging lens. Because after the refraction, they are converges all the light rays to a particular point. Okay. Then what about the sign of convention? The sign of convention in the case of spherical lens is exactly similar to that of the sign of conventions for the spherical mirrors. The same. Then lens formula. Quickly recall the lens formula. Lens formula. Don't need to turn the pages. Just to correlate it with that of the mirrors.
1 by F is equal to 1 by
Yeah, 1 by F is 1 by V. I need the sign here. Is it plus or minus? Minus. Very good. 1 by V minus 1 by U. This is the lens formula. Just opposite the case of the mirrors. In the case of mirrors, mirror formula is given by 1 by F is equal to 1 by V plus 1 by U. But here we are discussing in the case of lens. The lens formula is given by 1 by F is equal to 1 by V minus 1 by U. Where F is the focal length, V is the image distance and U is the object distance. So along with this mirror formula, we can discuss one more thing. Magnification formula, M for lens. Two equations are there, S, it's right. Plus V by U. M is equal to plus V by U. This is one equation. One more equation is there. What is that? M is equal to H dash by H. Height of the image divided by height of the object. Okay. So this is the magnification formula. Then the next topic is, here we will discuss it is power of lens. Power of lens. So what is the equation for calculating the power of lens? We have already discussed this power of lens in the previous class. Power of lens. P is equal to
1 by F.
1 by F. Power of lens is the reciprocal of the focal length. Okay. And the unit of power of lens? Unit?
Diopter.
Diopter. Very good. Diopter. It is represented by the letter D. Okay. Then power of lens. P for concave lens. Always. Power of concave lens always. Unmute and say anyone. Power of concave, negative. Power of concave lens is always negative. Power for convex lens is always. Power for convex lens. My God, positive. Okay. Power for concave lens is negative. Power for convex lens is always positive. P P is equal to 1 by F, and the SI unit of power of lens is nothing, it is diopter. Okay, and then the last one is uses of lens. Actually, this uses of lenses comes under the deleted portion for you from this chapter. There is nothing more deleted from here. Only they are deleted about the uses of lens and uses of mirrors. And all the
Yes,
other
ma'am.
portions are included for the examination. So now let us discuss the questions of this session, refraction of light. Okay, is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Read the first question. Guess the answer. Not guess, say the exact answer. A beam of light is incident through the holes on a side A and emerges out of the hole on the other face of the box as shown in the figure. Which of the following could be inside the box?
Convex lens.
Which of the following having the inside the box? Here a lens is placed inside this box. So here we want to identify which type of lens is hide inside the box. It is because of this particular lens the ray of light is refracted like this. So think and answer. Is it is a concave lens,
Prism.
rectangular glass slab, prism, or convex lens?
Concave lens.
It is concave lens. Actually, the answer is concave lens, but I need the explanation.
And they are diverging.
Yes, concave lens are diverging lens. The correct option is concave lens because concave lenses are diverging lens. So here in this figure, we can see the ray of light is incident parallelly on this box. But after that, after the refraction, all the light rays are get refracted. It is gets refracted. So it is diverging. It is diverging. After the refraction, all the light rays are get diverged. It is because of the presence of concave lens. Why it is not a prism? Actually, here we can also assume why it is not prism. It may be also the answer can be prism. Why? Because the answer is concave lens. Why? How the light rays are get inside the prism? Is it in the different angles? In the case of a prism, the light rays are enter into the prism through a particular angle. After the refraction, it gets diverged. But here, all the light rays are entering from various directions. So it cannot be a prism. It should be a lens. Okay. So here, the lens that is kept inside this box is nothing. It is concave. That is why after the refraction, the light rays are get diverged. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now the second question. Magnification produced by a rear view mirror fitted in vehicles is less than 1, equal to 1, can be more than or less than 1, depending upon the position of the object in front of it, is more than 1. Magnification produced. Yes, it is
Less than 1.
less than 1. Magnification produced by the rear view mirror. Actually, it is from the first part. We know that which mirror is used as a rear view mirrors in vehicles?
Convex mirror.
It is convex mirror. Okay. And what will be the size of the image formed by the convex mirrors?
Wider.
Size of the image. Is it is larger size or diminished one? That's what I am asking.
Diminished.
It is a diminished. So what about the magnification? It is always less than 1. Magnification produced by the rear view mirrors that is fitted in vehicle is less than 1. Now the third question. Study the given ray diagrams and select the correct statement from the following. So here we have a ray diagram. Study the ray diagrams and select the correct statement from the following. So here we have two apparatus are there. One is X and other is Y. And two screens are placed here. When a ray of light is passing through the first apparatus X, something happens here and we get the image on the screen. Similarly, the ray of light is passing through this apparatus Y. After the refraction, something is happened here. Some phenomena are occurs and we obtain the image on the screen. So read the options carefully and give the answer. Device X is a concave mirror and device Y is a convex lens whose focal length are 20 centimeter and 25 centimeter respectively. Device X is a convex lens and device Y is a concave mirror whose focal length are 10 centimeter and 25 centimeter respectively. Device X is a concave lens and device Y is a convex mirror whose focal length are 20 centimeter and 25 centimeter respectively. Device X is a convex lens and device Y is a concave mirror whose focal length are 20 centimeter and 25 centimeter respectively.
Ma'am, option D.
Option D, device X is a convex lens. That is, according to your option, X is a convex lens. This is a convex lens. And Y is a concave mirror. Suggested by whom?
Ashik Patel.
Okay. So according to Ashik, his option is device X is a convex lens and Y is a concave mirror whose focal length is 20 centimeter and 25 centimeter respectively. What about others? Any other options? Is it true or false? At least you just suggest whether the opinion suggested by Ashik is true or false. Is it right? Any other options? No response. Actually, the option D is right. Device X is a convex lens and device Y is a concave mirror whose focal length is 20 centimeter and 25 centimeter respectively. Now, Ashik, can you explain the reason?
Ma'am, because convex lens.
Convex lens? I need the
allow
explanation.
allow the light rays to pass through it.
Yeah, concave lens is also allow the light rays to pass through it, right?
Ma'am, but in Y it is reflecting.
Okay. So why you are saying this apparatus X is a convex lens? Why it is not concave mirror or convex mirror?
Because it does not diverge.
Yes, convex lenses are also known as converging lens, right? Convex lenses are known as converging lens. So the light rays that is passing through this apparatus after the refraction, what happens? It is converging to a particular point on the screen. Okay, so the apparatus X is a convex lens. Similarly, why you are say the concave mirror? The apparatus Y is a concave
Because
mirror.
it diverges.
Concave mirrors are not diverging mirror, they are converging mirrors. Your option is convex lens and concave mirror. What
And,
happens to this ray of light? Yes, it is also converges after the refraction. Refractions means they are get refracted from that of this mirror. Okay, sorry, reflection. Here reflection is takes place. After the reflection, what happens to this ray of light? It is also converges to a particular point. It is not diverges away, it is converges to a particular point. So the answer is biconcave mirror. So X convex lens, or it is the because of converging lens, and Y is also concave mirror because it is the converging mirror. So the device X is a convex lens, device Y is a concave mirror whose focal length are 20 centimeter and 25 centimeter respectively. Yes.
And by looking at the side only, we were able to say lens and mirror separately. The side, they're converging.
From which by looking on the side view, we are only understand whether it is a concave or convex, right?
Yes, ma'am. In mirror, same side, right? In lens, other side.
Ah, yes, on the lens it is on the other side.
So by looking like that, we can say which is mirror and which is lens.
Actually, we are only focusing on whether after the refraction, in the case of lens, after the refraction, what happens to this ray of light? Okay, so after the refraction, the ray of light is passing through this one side of the lens. After the refraction, it is converges. Here, no refraction is takes place or no divergence is takes place here. If it is a concave lens, what happens? Actually, it is diverges away from the, instead of passing through the other side, it is get diverges away from here. But instead of diverging, here it is passing through the other side of the lens and it is converges to a particular point. That is why we consider it as a convex lens. Similarly, here in the case of concave mirror, the light rays are incident on this particular object or particular material. After the reflection, the light rays are get reflected. It is get reflected from the surface. But after the reflection, it is seems to be converging. It is converging, not diverging. Instead of diverging, it is converging to a particular point. So here the reflection is takes place. The reflection is indicated by this reflection. Refraction means the transfer of an object from one medium to another medium. The ray of light is entering from rarer medium or from air to another medium. This is a glass. So after the refraction, instead of diverging, it is seems to be converges to a particular point. So we can say it is a lens and this is a convex lens because instead of diverging, it is converges to a particular point. But here in the case, from this diagram, from this point, it is clear that something is incident on the material and it gets reflected from it. If it is a lens, we can say that it is passing through the other side. But instead of passing through the other side, it gets reflected from here. Reflected. And after the reflection, all these light rays are tried to focus on the same point. Instead of diverging, it is focused on the same point. So we can say it is converging in nature. And we have only two types of spherical mirror. One is concave mirror and a convex mirror. And concave mirrors are the converging mirror. I don't know whether it is clear or not. Vishnupriya?
Yes, ma'am, it is clear, ma'am.
Okay. So the next one, fourth question. A student obtains a blurred image of a distant object on a screen using a convex lens. To obtain a distinct image on the screen, he should move the lens away from the screen, towards the screen. 1 minute. To a position far away from the screen, either towards or away from the screen. I will zoom it. 1 minute. So this is the question. A student obtains a blurred image of a distant object on a screen using a convex lens. So using a convex lens, the student obtains a blurred image. So not a sharp image, a blurred image is obtained on the screen, the blurred image of a distant object. In order to obtain a distinct image on the screen, he should move the lens away from the screen, towards the screen, to a position very far away from the screen, either towards or away from the screen, depending upon the position of the object. Read the question carefully. A student obtains a blurred image of a distinct object on a screen using a convex lens. To obtain a distinct, it is a convex lens. Please keep it in your mind. To obtain a distinct image of the screen, a distinct image, in order to obtain a very sharp image, virtual and direct image on the screen, he should move the lens away from the screen, towards the screen, to a position very far away from the screen, either towards or away from the screen, depending upon the position of the object.
D.
Option D. Okay, what about others?
A.
Option A. What is our option A? Away from the screen. Okay, then two more options are left. Others, please go with it. So one select option D. Here another student select away from the screen. What about others? Adidev, Haynes, Pratish, Chaya, make a guess. Anyone? In the case of a convex lens, where we get the virtual and direct image. Convex lens. We have 6 different cases are there for convex lens. So out of the 6 different cases, where we get the virtual and erect image and the enlarged image. Fia, any idea?
Option B.
Option
from the
B.
screen.
Yes, Fia?
Option A.
Option A. Who says it is option B, towards the screen? I want to know who select that option, option B, towards the screen. No one. Okay, so actually option B is right. I think I want to give a gift to him, but he is not like to announce his name. That's why
By
I'm
mistake, I said it.
okay. Actually, option B is right. Towards the screen. In the case of a convex lens, students, we know that we have 6 different cases are there. Out of the 6 different cases, in the last case, we get the virtual, erect, and enlarged image. Whenever we kept the object between the focus and that of the pole. Instead of pole, which term we are used here? Optic center, right? In the case of lens, instead of pole, we are using optic center. So whenever we kept the object between the pole and focus, we get the virtual, erect, and enlarged image. So you just correlate that point with that of this question. A student obtains a blurred image of a distant object on a screen using a convex lens. So in order to obtain a distinct image on the screen, he should move the lens. He should move the lens towards the screen. If he move the lens away from the screen again and again, he would get the, or he or she would get the blurred image. In order to obtain a clear image, a distinct image, he should move the screen, or he should move the lens towards the screen. If and only if it becomes lesser the distance, then only he get the distinct image of that particular object. So the option B is right. It is towards the screen.
Use a point-sized image. Distinct image, point-sized image.
Yes. Distinct means point size. Distinct image means, I will explain this in the point sized image in the class.
When you express this.
Distinct image means the very clear image. Distinct, 1 minute. I will clear it now itself. Distinct. Distinct image, actually, we are using a clear image. Distinct. Yeah. Distinct means recognized differently in nature from something else or a similar type. Distinct, if I am discussing the meaning, distinct image is very point image, point sized or diminished sized. Diminished is point sized in nature. As Vishnu, okay, Vishnupriya.
No, when you explain the question, you said we need point-sized image. So
Okay, now, not point side, the correct or clear image. Distinct image means the clear image. That is why we discussed the last case. In the case of a convex lens, we have 6 different cases are there. And in the 6th case, we get a virtual, erect and enlarged image. Enlarged image. Okay, a clear image is obtained if and only if the object is placed between the focus and that of the optic center. Okay, so if and only if you are move the lens towards the screen, then only you get a clear image instead of a blurred image. Okay, now the next question. 5. A real image is formed by the light rays after reflection or refraction when they are actually meet or intersect with each other, actually converge at a point, appear to meet when they are produced in backward direction, appear to diverge from a point.
Option B.
Actually converge at a point. Okay. What about others? A real image is formed by the light rays after the reflection or refraction when they are actually meet or intersect with each other, actually converge at a point, appear to meet when they are produced in backward direction, appear to diverge from a point. Others are sleeping, right? What about others? Meghna, Pradeep, Aksana, Prajot, Krishna, Hadi, Johan. I need your responses. Nirubama. Savio is there. Savio. Try to guess any option.
A and B.
A and B actually meet or intersect with each other. That is, you are going with option C, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what about others? Your options are A and D, A and B, B and D. One more option is there, B and D. So, yeah, only 3 options. A and D, A and B, and B and D. Or we can consider it as B and C. Aman, what do you think? When a real image is formed by the light rays after reflection or refraction? Hadidi, any idea? When a real image is formed by the light rays after reflection or refraction, when they are actually meet or intersect with each other, actually converge at a point, Appear to meet when they are produced in backward direction. Appear to diverge from a point. It's a very simple question. When we get a real image, real.
C.
Yes, actually the option C is right. Option A and B. So we get a real image if and only if even if after the reflection or refraction, the light rays actually meet or intersect with each other. That is one chance. Or otherwise, if it is actually converges to a particular point, then only we get a real image. If the light rays after the reflection or refraction, if the light rays are appear to meet when they are produced in backward direction, or if they are diverges away from a point, we get a virtual image. Okay. So in order to get a real image, the light rays should be meet or intersect with each other, or it should converges at a particular point. Then only we get a real image on the screen. So option C is right. The statement A and B are right. A real image is formed by the light rays after the reflection or refraction when they are actually meet or intersect with each other, or actually converges to a particular point. Correct answer is option A and B. Real image is something that we are obtained on the screen. But virtual images are the images that we cannot obtain on the screen. That is the difference between real image and a virtual image. Real image are those images is obtained on the screen, but virtual images cannot be obtained on the screen. So a real image is obtained if and only if the light rays are meet or intersect with each other, or it is converges at a particular point. Next question. Consider the following properties of virtual images. It's a direct question. Option A, cannot be projected on the screen, are formed by concave and convex lens, are always erect, are always inverted. Which are the options are correct? A and D, A and B, A, B and C, A, B and D.
A, B and C.
Very good. A, B and C. Virtual images are the images which cannot be projected on the screen. So that is what is known as virtual images. So option A is right. Now option B. Virtual images are those images that can be formed by either concave or convex lens. It's right. So option B is also possible for virtual images. Now they are always erect. We know that only combination that is go with that of the virtual images is nothing. It is erect. Images are always virtual and erect. So what about option D? Are always inverted. It's a wrong option. Virtual images are always erect in nature, not inverted. So the correct option is A, B and C. Option C. Okay. Now the seventh question. It's also a direct one. Where should an object be placed in front of a convex lens to get a real image of the size of the object?
At the principal purpose of the lens.
Where should an object should be placed in front of a convex lens in order to get a real image as that of the same size of the object? Image size and object size should be the same. Only one case is there. What is that?
At infinity.
Wow. If you place the object at
Place the
infinity,
focal
then the image
At
size
twice
is
at twice the focal length.
at twice the focal length. In the case of mirror, we know that its center of curvature is there. At C, we know that if you are placed or kept the object at C, what about the size of the image form?
Same size.
Same size. That is in the case of spherical mirror. But here we were discussing the case of lens. In the case of lens, instead of this center of curvature, here we are using the term twice the focal length. It is represented by 2f. So if you place the object at 2f, that is at twice the focal length, you get the image size which is same as that of the size of the object. Okay, so twice the focal length is the right answer. So with this we can wind up the session.